happy to have you here. I'm so excited. I can see you guys are ready. Oh, yes, watching from Germany. Wow, hi, Muche. Thank you for joining. So happy to see you. I'm in Lagos. Hope to get more knowledge and motivation to launch my course. Yes, we are going to launch your course. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. This is amazing. This is amazing. So, I am aware that there are three categories of people in here today, right? So, the first category of people, you have a course that you're already selling. The second category is you do not have a course, but you want to create a course. And then the third category of persons here today is people who have a course, but their course is not selling. All right? You have a course, your course is not selling, you don't have a course, you want to create a course, or you're already selling your course and you want to scale your course. Whatever category you are in, that PCOS chick, happy to have you here. Whatever category you are in, this webinar is just right for you because after today's class, you are going to have, so after today's class, so whether you are in the category of you don't have a course, or you're in the category of you have a course you're already selling, or you're in the category of you have a course but that course is not selling, or you're in the category of people who know what to do but you don't have any motivation, right? Whatever category you are in, you are going to get the right clarity, the motivation that you need to get started tonight. They told us I'm in category 2, you don't have a course. Awesome. Constance said, I want to get an extra push and the best way to launch effectively without the overwhelm. Amazing. Amazing. So whatever category you are in here today, you are going to get solution. All right. Favor says category 1. Aha. Grace says category 3. Okay. You have a course, but the course is not selling. Okay. I can see that we have everybody here based on all of this category, right? So I'm very happy that tonight's class, this course, this webinar rather, is going to change a lot for you after you leave here, right? So once you leave this webinar, you'll be able to get clarity. And with the clarity you're going to get, if you go and implement, you are going to make your first or your next 6 figures selling your online course. Now, when I mean 7 figures, the lowest you will make after you leave this webinar is 100K. Like, if you don't make any money at all, but you leave this webinar and you implement all I'm going to be sharing with you, the lowest you're going to make is 100K, which is 6 figures, right? That is 100,000 naira. That's what I mean. That's the lowest you're going to be making if you leave this place and you do not implement at all, at all, at all. Like you just did small thing. You are going to make 100K. That's the lowest. But you have to still implement for you to make money, right? Awesome. Okay. This is amazing. So whatever category you're going to get clarity. Now, to tell you how powerful my classes and my free advices are, why I want you to take this seriously. Don't say, oh, because this is a free class, hello, I beg you, should go and sleep. Don't say because this is a free class, right, you're going to neglect it. So this is someone I gave advice, and after the advice, free advice, she made 100K in 4 days. 100,000 naira in 4 days. So you don't want to play with my free classes. You don't want to play with my free course. I put in my all. So whether you are paying me money or you are watching for free, I put in my all to make sure that you get results, no matter how you are getting it, right? So you want to stay until the end. Okay? So don't say this is a free class and you just bounce and just leave. Right? So another reason why you want to stay to the end of this webinar is that at the end of this webinar, right, I'll be selecting 2 persons to go live with me tomorrow. Remember, this is a 2-day series. Tomorrow, I'm not teaching. Tomorrow, I'm creating a roadmap for 2 people. Hey! I'm creating a free roadmap. So I will create a roadmap for 2 persons, which I'm going to be selecting at the end of this webinar. And that they can go and plug and play to sell their courses. So everything I'll be walking you through today, tomorrow you're going to see it live in action. I'll be explaining to you using people as an example, right? So you want to stay to the end. Another third reason why you want to stay to the end of this webinar is that if you stay to the end of this webinar, you are going to find out how you can get me to do a free collab with you, two free collaboration, two free. I'll either on Facebook or Instagram. Just bring me to your platform. If you want me to come and teach your people for free, I'll come and do it. Like free pass. All right. So you want to stay to the end to find out how. The second thing you're going to get if you stay to the end, you're going to find out how I can help you create two course titles when you are ready to launch. And then another thing is I will show you how to access 200 Facebook groups that allows you to sell your product. So you want to stay until the end. All right? All right? Okay, so this is how this will work. I want you to keep all of your questions to the Q&A time so that you don't break the flow of this session. Now get your pen and your paper or your notepad because it's about to get down. And then the third thing I want you to do is to open your mind to learn. Open your mind to learn. And then the fourth thing is after you learn, you want to be ready to take action. All right? So are you ready? Are you ready? Woo! Get rid of any form of distractions. Let's get started. If you are ready, put in your favorite emoji, put in fire, 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 fire. I want to fire down. Though. People who know me know say I don't have chill. People who know me know say I don't have chill. I'm about to fire down. Should I permission to fire? Permission to fire down. Permission to fire down. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. The very beginning. Now remember, when you were signing up for this training, I told you this was not going to be like a session where you come and then I just start teaching from slide to slide, back to back. Yes, I'm going to teach from slide to slide, yes. But what I'm going to be teaching is going to be in a form of Q&A. So I'm going to show a question. I'll show a question on the screen and then I'll answer it. That's how we are going to work. That's how we are going to flow. Question, answer, question, answer. All right, so let's start from the very beginning. That's how it's going to work tonight. Okay, so where do I start from? This is the first question that we are going to answer today because this is the very beginning. If you don't know where to start from, then creating your course is going to be, it's not going to work. So I put a poll in the Facebook group during this week and I asked 5 questions, right? The top 2 you can, as you can see on the screen, is the first issue people have is marketing issues. The second is they don't know where to start from. So instead of starting from marketing, I want to answer the question from where do I start from? Because before you even sell, you have to know where to start from. So that is why I'm picking this question as the first question to answer here tonight. So where do I start from? All right. So let's move. Now, the first answer I want to give you in simple form, you have to start from somewhere. You have to start from somewhere. No matter what you're doing right now, no matter where you are, you have to start from somewhere. And in starting, I've realized that okay, this slide is supposed to come before this. Okay. So in starting, I've come to realize that there are so many things that stop people from starting. Apart from, oh, I know something to teach. There are different things like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what tools to use. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I'm not sure if I should be doing this thing, right? So this was me when I started, when I didn't know where to start, right? This was where I was. I was this person who just got out of college in 2019, and all I wanted to do was just go and get a job and start working and start making money because I was in debt. Imagine you come out from school, you're already in debt, you're already owing so much money that you need to pay because of some financial constraint during school, right? So all I wanted was just to get a job and just work. Then I couldn't get it. I got a job, pandemic happened, the job didn't push through. I was back to square one, and then I figured I could create a course. I could sell my knowledge. But the whole process did not just start from that point where I knew that I could sell my knowledge, because the question I was now asking myself was where do I start from? Where exactly do I start from to start selling this thing that I know? Because I know that, okay, I know things, I do this, I do that. Where do I not start from? So that I can start paying my debt, because that was a drive that I had first. So where do you start from? Start from where you are, and that first point where you are is the drive. So what is that drive that is pushing you to want to create a course? Right? So for me, my drive was debt. So I had this debt. I needed to clear off this debt. I needed to live and breathe, right? I needed to clear off my debt. Okay? I was where I was staying was not even conducive. I didn't have a laptop. I didn't have a good phone. In fact, I didn't have anything. I just had this iSense phone that I was managing. The camera was whack. I was staying in this compound that was like civilian barracks. All right, and I needed to clear off my debt. And I just knew that I needed to find a way. So some of you might be here right now. Maybe the constraint that you have is you feel like, okay, I need a lot of money to start, or you feel like, okay, I don't have the right tools to start, or you feel like you don't just know what to do to start. So no matter what you are, or what's stopping you from starting, or what's making you to feel like you don't know where to start from, right? I want you to know first of all that the first thing you want to do is to start from where you are. That was how I started. I started with my phone, which is where I was. My Hisense phone. You can see here, my workspace here was a stool. You can see me here. I was working from a stool. You can see where I was staying here. It was a civilian barracks. From here, I moved to another stool, but a better place. Now, all of these places were not my house. I was living with people. So I started with what I had first. So if what is stopping you right now is you don't know where to start from because you think you don't have the things to start, then this is me telling you that you can start with where you are with what you have. Okay? So, but if why you've not started is because you feel like, oh, you don't know what to teach, you don't know the right skills, then in a moment, I'm going to show you how to go from that your ideation to actually bringing out a course or bringing out something that you can sell. Okay? So I don't know where you are right now. I don't know the stage that you are in, right? So how many of you are at this point right now? What point are you at? You're at the point where you feel like, I don't know where to start. Let me know in the chat. How many of you are feeling like you don't know where to start? How many of you are feeling like this tonight? I want you to engage, to communicate with me because I want to be sure that you can hear me, you can understand what I'm saying, and we are on the same page. So you don't know where to start, either because you feel like you don't have the right tools, or because you feel like you don't have the skills, or because you feel like you don't know the tools to use, you don't know what to do first, what to do next. All right, so how many of you are feeling a little like this tonight? Okay, I can see some person say me, 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 me. Awesome, awesome. So now I am going to give you the answer, right? So what happened when I started regardless and opened myself to learning? Now, a lot of people, this is not like the from grass to grace story. Yes, it's from grass to grace story, but then I'm still finding myself. Right? I'm still in the process of finding myself. But one thing I want you to realize that when you start, regardless of where you are, when you start, regardless of what you have right now, or when you feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not expert enough, I don't know everything I need to know to teach somebody, you are going to start to transition. So I have transitioned from that girl who didn't have where to stay, who didn't have a laptop. I was borrowing laptop up and down. Some of you might feel like, oh, I cannot create a course because I don't have a laptop. I was borrowing laptop. There was a point where I was using my phone. There was a point where I went to borrow laptop. I was staying from different friends. I was borrowing my laptop so that at least I could just create a course so that I can sell it. I was at that point. Right? So because I started, I transitioned. And last month in March, I had my first radio presentation. I went to the radio station and I talked about how to monetize your knowledge. Now, how did I get here? I did not get here by just standing up and saying, oh, I want to create a course, and then I just created the course. No, I'm going to show you how I got here in a moment. I'm going to show you the process I took to get here. So aside the fact people say, oh, I showed up, it's God's grace. Yes, it's God's grace I showed up. But how the hell did I show up? I'm going to answer that for you right now. But one thing I want you to know is that when you start regardless, when you show up, yes, this is not aspire to perspire. I'm going to show you how I got here, the processes that I took. So not aspire to perspire, say, oh, I was broke, now I'm rich. I was poor, now I'm rich. Oh, I didn't know what to do now. Now I got here, now I did this thing and I blow. No. How did I do it? What are the step-by-step processes that I took? All right? Because I was at that point where I didn't know where to start. Because I didn't have good phone, I didn't have a laptop. Now the first thing I did was I asked myself, how can I start? Since I don't have a good phone, can I borrow from somebody? Is there somebody that has it? Do I have a friend who can lend me for a few weeks? Do I have somebody who have a good phone that I can use to do content? I can use to shoot my videos and then send it to my phone and then upload it. This is where I started from. I borrowed. Right? So some of you are here, if you have somebody you can ask from, or maybe you can go for you can go to a cafe or something. This is where you want to start from. But if you're that person who have everything, some of you have the tools now, but your problem is you don't know how to use it. We are going to find out tonight. All right. So because I showed up regardless, all right, I've been able to transition. So I had a talk about monetizing your knowledge in my first radio station, in my first speech in the radio station, and very soon I'm going to be showing up on TV. Oh yes, and then yes, I've been able to pay off my debt and so many other cool things that I've been able to do. And aside that, the coolest part of it is I've been able to train over 1,500 students with what I know. Now, this was because I started regardless. So now let's now move to the point where, okay, fine, you can now figure it out. So how do I start? You need to start from somewhere. So where is that somewhere? Where is that somewhere that you need to start from? Where is that somewhere? Now, where we are starting from is idea. So you need an idea to create a course. Yes, you do. So if you don't have an idea, my brother, my sister, that aspire to perspire story that I just told you right now is all a waste. So you need an idea. So what do you know that you can teach? That is the first place to start from. All right? Now, aside knowing something, this is something I found that I really find really bad with people. Now, some of you might come to this webinar, you learn, and you not feel like, oh, you know how to create a course. You can now go and teach people. No, you've learned from the webinar to the point where you can implement and try to help yourself first. But you don't have the idea to teach people yet. So if you look at this, is it pie chart now? This thing that I have here, this chart that I have here. So the idea that you have you been able to use it to get results, either for you or for someone? That is the first point to start from. I know many of you already know your idea. You already know what to do. But remember, this webinar is for everybody. So I'm going to start so that everybody at different points that you're in, you can get results, you can learn. So if you have an idea that you're willing to get results for yourself or for somebody, that's the first place to start. So now you have this idea. What the hell do you do with the idea? Right? Now, an idea can be in different forms. An idea can be in different forms. It could be what you love to do. It could be something that you're good at. It could be an experience that you have. All right? Now, when we talk about what you love, what you're good at, an experience that you have, this can be in form of maybe some persons, for example, let me give you an example. Some persons like to travel, and because they love to travel, they've traveled a lot, and because they traveled a lot, they know a lot about traveling. They know how to book flights. They know the best places to go to, how to get reservations, how to have the best fun of your life traveling. Because I love to travel, because I traveled a lot, I now have an idea about this thing, right? You've gotten that result for yourself, that you have enough information to even teach somebody. So that is what you love, right? So what are you good at? This can be a skill. So maybe you've learned copywriting, you've practiced copywriting, now you are good at copywriting. Or maybe you learned how to bake, you've practiced how to bake, you've baked for your family members, you've baked for yourself, you've baked for people in different things, you've provided as a service. That is what you are good at. Or maybe you know how to sew. You sew clothes, you sew beautiful dress, you've done this thing, you've gotten this result. That is what you are good at. Now, the third thing is experience. What do you have experience in? Experience could be work experience. So let's say you have worked as an HR for 10 years, 20 years, 100 years. You have that experience. So you have enough information to teach people who want to start out in as HR in an HR career. Or maybe you've worked in a radio station and you have experience to teach people who want to start out in this career path. Or maybe you've worked in the tech area, and you know how to get tech jobs. This is experience that you have. Or maybe life experience. Okay? You're able to overcome depression. Or maybe you have someone who had diabetes and you're able to help them cure it. Or you experience the process of curing this thing. Or maybe this person have fibroid. You know how to source for the cure for fibroid and everything. Then you have that experience. That is an idea that you can monetize. You can create a course. That means you're eligible to create a course. Now, I want to give you an exercise. Write it down in your book right now. 10 things you are good at, 10 things you love, 10 things you have experience in. So 10 things you love, things that you love doing that you've done so well, and you have enough information about it. Now, do not overthink it. It can be basic things. Just write them down. Like I said, it can be, I love to travel. Don't just say I love to travel and you've not been traveling. Like me, I love to travel, but I've not been traveling, so I cannot write it. I don't have any idea about that. I love to eat. There are people who are struggling to eat, like myself. You can create a course on how to eat well, how to eat healthy. Or you've been able to eat well to gain weight. That is something that you love to do because you love to eat. You've been able to eat well, or you've been able to eat well to manage your weight or something. What are you good at? What skill do you have? Are you guys here? Can you hear me? Are you following? What skills do you have? What experience do you have? Work experience, life experience. Which one do you have? So this is exactly where you need to start from. Okay? Are you following? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Are you following? Let me know in the chat if you are following. Yes, I'm following. Amazing. 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 So now the next thing is make a list. Make a list. Make a list. Write down 5 things you really love, that you really love doing, not the one you just love that you're not doing. The one you love that you're doing. Write down 5 to 10 things you are good at. This can be your skills or your knowledge. And write down 5 to 10 things you have experience on. This can be work experience, life experience. All right, so you've been able to overcome depression. Write it down. You've been able to do this. Write it down. So that is the first point to start. All right, so if you don't know where to start, this is it. But if you're already clear on your idea, all right, if you're already clear on your idea, good to go, then wait for me to tell you the next step. I'm about to show you the next step. But for those who are not clear on their idea yet, this is the first thing you need to do first. All right? So once you make that list, the next thing you want to do is to find a common ground and fly with your superpowers. Now, mistake that a lot of people make is they just go ahead to create a course because they feel like they know small things about the course, or because they feel like, oh, this course is trending. Yes, we are coming there, but you need to make that list. So if you make that list of 5 to 10 things, make the list of 5 to 10 things that you're good at, things you love, things you have experience in, right? Now you're not going to look at, there's something we call common factor. So let's say you write out 30 things in these 3 categories, 10, 10, 10. Out of that 30 things, what are the things that are common, that keep recurring, like they keep recurring in the process? So let's say, for example, you love to travel, right? You love to travel, and so far you've been able to share your traveling experience through storytelling, that people enjoy your story, how you put your story together with your traveling skills and everything, right? And then if you look at it in a way, you have experience as a traveler. That's something that you've been able to find a common ground. So you can pick that and say, oh, this is my superpowers, right? So you can now say you want to teach people how to travel, how to create how to travel, right? That's one aspect. how to find the right booking, how to see cheap flights, how to book for your hotel in the country you are going to or the state you are going to before you get there. Or you can come from the angle of the skills. So what you love have given you a skill of telling a very good story. So you can teach people how to document your journey. That's something, storytelling skills. Or you can put it as life experience. So you now have experience as someone that can travel. So you can now show people how to travel. So these are different things. So make this list and find a common ground to fly with. Now, when you are finding a common ground, you can have like 3 things. So write 10 things, pick the 3 best things that you are good at, and hold that one in one place. Use that one to hold body first. Hold that one in one place. Now let's now move to the next point. So for people who already know what they want to do, for example, you're already a baker. You know that I can bake cake. If I bake cake like this last one, almost. Now, let's say you are a baker, right? That's what you're good at. But because you've been baking, you understand the baking market, you now know how to sell out your baking skills, your baking services. Now you can teach people how to bake, or you can teach already existing bakers how to sell their skills. You see how what you are good at, what you love, and the experience you have is now bringing different ideas that you can do. You see what I'm saying? Or let's say you have social media skills, right? So you're managing social media pages, or you know how to explain Instagram. Because you've been able to get results for people to use Instagram and everything, right? So now, that can be the skill that you have. You can teach people how to start out on Instagram. You can teach business owners how to use their Instagram. Or you can teach people like yourself who want to learn how to use Instagram to make money, to make money. You see how you're able to come in out with different ideas that you can monetize. You see that? So now you found a common ground. What is the next thing to do? Next question is, now you have the idea. Is there a market for this idea? Do you have a market for this idea? That is the next question you want to ask yourself. It's not just about what you can teach, but it's also about what people want to know. So now, how do you know if there's a market for this thing? So there are 2 ways. Own audience and market audience equals to validation. You need to validate it. Remember, we are still answering the first question, where do I start from? So you ask your own audience, you ask the market audience, and then you validate. Now, own audience can be people following your Instagram, your WhatsApp list, your Facebook list. Now, some persons may not have own audience. That's fine. If you don't have it, I'm going to answer the question of how you can find your own audience. How you can still sell your course if you don't have an audience. I'll answer that question. But this is how you can validate your idea. So you have your own audience. Ask your audience. Use story pools. Create a post. Send an email. Create a survey. Send it to your audience. Ask them. But if you don't have an audience, and also another thing you can do is market audience. Market audience is potential people who are suffering from the problem that you have a solution for, right? Right? But they don't know you yet. They are just on the internet. They're just ranting on the internet. And where can you find this market audience? YouTube, Facebook groups, Quora, Reddit, Amazon, places where people are ranting about their pains. This is where you can find them. So what you want to do, I will show you how to do this later. But what you want to do with this here is to know what people are struggling with. So your own audience, you can create a simple survey. So let's say you already have your 3 big ideas from the first stage, right? You cannot come and ask your audience, oh, would you like to learn how to travel? Or are you struggling with travel? When it comes to traveling, what is the problem you face? Then people will start answering you. But if you have an audience, make sure that your audience you have, you've been nurturing them with content on your Instagram or on your platform so that they will know you as someone who talks about traveling. All right, so you cannot be talking about traveling or about cake on your page and then you just wake up one morning and start asking people questions about another thing that does not relate. It can be interwoven. Yes, you can do that. So for me, I talk about courses, but there was a time I taught people how to use Instagram because in as much as I teach courses, I also teach courses, right? But I teach people courses who, how am I going to speak? Oh God, English is hard. I teach people who use Instagram how to sell their knowledge, right? So sometimes they may be figuring out how to use Instagram. So it's still in line with what I am doing, creating courses. Because if you know how to use Instagram well, you'll be able to sell your offers or your product, right? So I want to make sure that it ties. Okay, so this is how to know if there is a market for this idea. I'm going to show you how to check um, the market audience very soon. Okay, so now the next thing is this idea profitable? Will it give you money? Right? Will this idea give you money? Okay, so how do you know? Is there competition? There was a time someone came to my DM and said, "Hello, I'm a skincare brand. There's too many skincare products. Are people already selling skincare? How will people not buy my course?" Girl, that is the validation you need to tell you that that idea is profitable because if people keep creating courses around skincare, that means people are buying it. The only problem why you may not be selling your own is that your communication may not be good, or maybe the idea that you put out there, you did not package this well in a profitable manner. So if you have competition, then boy oh boy, that idea is profitable. Then another way to know if it's profitable is to sell the idea first. Sell the idea to people first and see if they would buy. Okay, I'm going to show you how to sell it. How to sell with an audience and how to sell without an audience. Okay? Money is the cocoa. Yes, money is the cocoa. So let me go through what I've just said. Where to start from. Start from where you are. Have your idea. Now, is there a market for the idea? Is this idea profitable? These are the three things you want to ask yourself first. And then once you have that, competition. Check out your competition and then sell it first. So how do you sell it first? How do you sell your idea first? So the first way to sell your idea first is to sell a free webinar. So the first time when I created a course, I sold a free webinar. So there was a time I had an idea. People were asking me questions. Hello, what is sales funnel? What is sales page? What is landing page? The question got so much. I said, okay, let me know if people want to buy this. Right? Because it's one thing for people to be asking you the question. It's another thing for them to be ready to swipe their card, or another thing for them to be ready to learn it. Right? So what I did, I used the first option of selling it first. I sold a free webinar. So I did not charge people for the webinar. So they came on the webinar for free. They came on the webinar. I delivered value on the webinar, and then I sold the replay. That I said over 100 and something people registered for that webinar. I think about 30 something people or 40 people came for the webinar. All right. And then when I sold the webinar for free, after the webinar, I started selling the course. I sold the course for 1.5. I sold the course for 2.5, right? And that's how I sold the course. And now I have over 500 people that have taken that course from that free webinar that I actually sold, right? Then another way to sell it is sell a mini course on pre-order, right? So you can sell a mini course, sell it for a very cheap amount. So if you're in Nigeria, the cheap amount you should be looking at is between 1.5 or 1,000 to 5,000. If you are abroad, you should be looking between $5 to $50 if your audience is abroad. That's something that is cheap that you can sell on pre-order, right? So sell this idea on pre-order. Another thing you can do is open a wait list and set a launch date. You want to see people will enter your wait list. It's not about saying, I want to learn, I want to learn. Oh yeah, click on the link and go and join the wait list. Will you join? Right? Then the fourth way to sell your idea first is host a webinar and sell the idea on the webinar. So host a free webinar. Let people come on the webinar. Sell the idea on the webinar and see if people will buy. So even if it's a 5K course, even though it's 5K that you want to sell that thing, sell it on a webinar and see if people will buy. And then the fifth way is to sell a webinar. Okay? Just sell a webinar straight. It can be 1.5, it can be 2.5, it can be 5,000. When I created my Instagram visibility course, I sold it as a webinar. I validated, even though I've been creating courses before, I still had to validate the idea that my audience and people needed that. I sold it for 1.5, and 70 people registered for 1.5, right? And then after the webinar, the price increased to 4,500. It's currently selling for 4,500. And so far, I have over 100 and something people, going to 200 people on that course right now. And that means over 70 something people or 100 people bought it for 4,500 again. So after I validated that 70 people bought it for 1,500, that means I know that is something people needed. So sell a webinar. And it's very simple. You don't need to kill yourself. That webinar that I sold to 60 people, I used 7 days to sell them. I just woke up one morning. And it's very easy if you already have an audience. And that you're already nurtured, you're already showing up for that audience. I just woke up one morning and I was broke, right? I was broke that morning. And because I was already showing up and creating content and showing up on my page, I just said, okay, people, but remember, mind you, before I woke up to write this, I already did the validation. I already asked my audience before on Story Pool, would you like to learn about how to be visible on Instagram? People have been asking me that question before. So please don't just wake up and go and say you want to sell a webinar. Validate the idea. Let people ask people, or go and check what people are asking, ranting about on the internet. Go to YouTube, go to Facebook, go what are people ranting about. Right? And then make a story post. Put it on your feed and say, okay, so I find that people are struggling with visibility. You don't just want to say, come and buy. No, you want to put it in a way that you are carrying your audience along. So how many of you are struggling to be visible? Or make a list of 5 things. Which one of these are you struggling with? A, visibility. B, sales on Instagram. C, engagement. Put it there. Bam. All right? And then ask people to engage. So people start engaging. Oh, I'm struggling with visibility. I'm struggling with engagement. I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with that. Make sure that whatever thing you're putting out, you've gotten results for it first, right? People start answering. Now, those people, you start taking note of them. All right? And then you now come with another post. I say, okay, so I made this post, and all of you say you are struggling with this, you're struggling with that, you're struggling with this, you're struggling with that. If I create a post on this, if I create a mini class on this, will you pay? Will you attend? You ask them. Right? And then people start commenting, yes, so I want the class. Oh, God, I want the class. How much would you want me to charge? That is how to get people to show interest, to sell a webinar that is very cheap. People start showing interest. You send them a DM. I say, okay, you show interest in this thing. Would you like to buy? Okay, this is the link to sign up. And then people start signing up. Okay? That is how to sell it first. Are you guys following? Is this making sense? Yes, 100%. Amazing. So now, a whole lot of sense. Awesome. So now you now know where to start. You know where to start, right? What if I don't hit my number? So now let's not talk about that sell it first. When you sell it, you don't hit your number. So how do I measure results? So the first thing you want to do is to have a set goal. So if you want to sell your idea first, so no matter what, no matter the option you want to use, so whether you want to use a free webinar, you want to use the mini course pre-order, or you want to open a wait list, or you want to host a webinar, or you want to sell a webinar, no matter the method you want to use, you want to have a set goal. So how many people do you want? Are you looking at how many people do you want to get? Right? So if you say, okay, I want to get 100 people to show interest, or at least 50 people to show interest, because the first thing is interest first, because this is an idea that you are testing. Interest is not money, but interest may equal to money. So the first thing is interest. So this webinar now that people are on, my goal was, I'm going to keep running this webinar, and my goal is to have at least 500 people to sign up on the webinar. All right, at least 500 people to sign up on the webinar. And so far, I have over 456 people that signed up. Now, that is the point. Now, why am I saying this? I'm going to show you in a moment what my webinar, what my stuff is like. I'm going to show you the number of people that register for this webinar. That's why I'm telling you that interest is not the same thing as giving you money or showing up, right? So even if you're doing a free webinar, you want to have your numbers in place. You want to have your numbers in place, okay? So I'm going to show you the people who signed up for this webinar. So you see the number of people who signed up for this webinar, okay? So this is my list, how to create a profitable online course webinar. We have 465 people sign up. And my goal was to have 500 people sign up per webinar, because I know that the number of people that will sign up and the number of people that will show up is not the same thing. that's why I said you need to have a set goal first. You need to have a set goal first. All right? So once you have your goal, say, okay, I want to have 600 people to sign up, or 50 people, or 100 people to show interest in what I am saying. Because what I am teaching is not fluff. I'm teaching what I've implemented. That's why I'm showing you my dashboard, so that you know that this guy is not saying rubbish. This guy is not saying audio. I'm not doing audio teaching here. All right? So have a set goal. So you want to have 500 people, you want to have 50 people to show up for the free webinar. So the first thing before you have your goal is to pick which method you want to use to sell it first. All right, so pick a method here to sell it first, and then have a set goal. Then create a plan to get your number. Now create a plan. What is the plan you want to use to get number? How are you going to create content? How many days will you create content? Are you going to be using ads, or you want to use all organic first? Since it's something you are testing, right? Will you go to Facebook groups? If it's a free offer, I would recommend that the surest way to get organic is to go to join Facebook groups that are niche related and say, oh, hi guys, would you like to learn about XYZ? I have a free training. If you're interested in the training, comment below and I'll send you the link to sign up. That's very simple in Facebook group, niche related Facebook group, right? So that can be a plan that you've created. If you have money to run ads, you can start to run ads to see how that goes to hit your numbers, right? Now you may not hit your number. Now you can see that my number was 500 per webinar, but I did not hit my number. I had 465, but that was really close. So you may not hit your numbers, right? Now, the next thing is record your interest rate. So for me, my interest rate was really high. Let's say 90-something percent, right? 90-something%, because my interest, I wanted 500 and I had 465. My interest rate was really high. Okay? Now, when you record your interest rate, you're now going to record your conversion rate. What is the conversion rate? How many percent of people that you have showed up? So let's use me for example, because this is a free webinar that I'm doing. Okay? So this is a free webinar that I'm doing, okay? So I have 465. So your conversion rate, if you have 4 to 10% conversion rate, then that idea is profitable. You need to keep milking the idea, keep milking it till you are able to scale it to 6 figures. So let's use my 465 as an example. So let's say I have 4% of this conversion rate. So 4 divided by 100, right? Times 465. So I just needed 18 persons to show up here on the webinar if I'm looking at 4% conversion rate, okay, to say this is a profitable idea. Let me keep milking it. If I look at 5%, 5 divided by 100 times 465, there's I just needed 23 people. And on the live right now, we have about 36 people. I think people have been going and coming. Let's say we have an average of 50 people on this live, right? So if we look at 10% divided by 100 times 465, then at least I should have like 45 to 46 people showing conversion rate, right? So that is for the interest part. So if you have this conversion rate, then boy oh boy, your idea is profitable. Now the next step is to milk that idea, milk and milk it until you're able to scale it. All right? So that is the next thing to do. Are you guys following? Is this making sense at all? Is this making any sense to you? So now what's next? So once you have this your number, this your 4 to 10% conversion. Oh, this idea is making sense. How do I milk it? You go ahead, create the first version of the product. So now this brings us back to here. It depends on what you did here. So if you saw the free webinar, right, and then the conversion rate was between 4 to 10%, then what you now want to do is to create the first version of the product. I'll use my landing page course as an example. I use the free webinar option to sell that course. The free webinar option, after the people came for the free webinar, after I saw the conversion rate, and I created the first version of the course, which I now started selling for 1.5, which is the replay. So I now chopped the webinar into small version, hosted it on the platform, and started selling it as a replay. So I saw the webinar first, right? I had my conversion rate. and then I created the first version of the product. Then the next thing is deliver value. Before I get to deliver value, let's now go back here to say, let's say you use the sell a mini course on pre-order option. I've used all of these options that you're seeing here. I've used all of them. So this mini course on pre-order, if you follow me on Instagram, there was a time I sold Sell More with Ads Masterclass. That was a mini course. I sold it on pre-order before I created the course. Right? People were saying, I want to learn that. I started creating content and told people, okay, come and buy a mini course on how to sell more with ads. I created content and people paid for it. And I looked at my conversion rate, 4 to 10% conversion of the interest rates of people paid me money because I used this option. They pre-ordered. And then I went ahead to create the first version of the course. Right? And then, now let's now use the third option as an example. Open a wait list and set a launch date. I've done this as well for my clients and I've also done it for myself. So open a wait list, let people go and wait on the wait list and set a launch date. So you're now going to measure the interest rates and see how many people enter your wait list for real, right? And then you go ahead, set the launch date, see how many people will pay. You go ahead and then create the first version of the product. Then if you're using that option that says host a webinar and sell an idea, it's the same thing. Sell a webinar. I did this for my Instagram. I did it for my Instagram visibility webinar. I sold a webinar for 1.5. 60 people, almost 200 people showed interest. 60 people paid me. That was more than 10% conversion rate, right? So I went ahead and I created the first version of the product. And after creating the first version of the product, the next thing you need to do is to deliver more than you have promised. So I over-delivered, right? And then after you deliver, that is what will now give you feedback. So I got feedback from people, and no matter the version that you take, you can now use the feedback to improve your product, right? So now once you improve the product, you can now go back and relaunch, then rinse and repeat the process. That is where to start from. Rinse and repeat the process. So I'm going to give you an example of what I rinse and repeat. The landing page cost, after I improve on the product, that was when I was selling for 1.5. I improved on the product. People were asking me different questions. Oh, this one is not part of the cost. It's not part of the cost. Then I improved the product and made it better. Then I relaunched the product. I rinsed and repeat the process. And then I increased the price to 2.5. So that's where to start from. Right? That is where to start from. Okay? So some of you might be asking that, okay, what if I don't hit the 4 to 10% conversion that you talked about? Then there's a problem somewhere. So it's either you did not follow the process well, or that course is not profitable. So what you want to do is to go back to the drawing table, all right? Restructure your process, or you leave that and go to something else. Maybe it's not profitable. And this is something I see a lot of people struggle with, right? And that is why I decided that, okay, I want to create a course that is going to teach people, that's going to walk people through how to actually sit down and create a launch plan. Because if I want to be doing all of this in this webinar, we are going to sleep here, all right? So that's why I'm working on a course right now that's going to be showing you that. And that course is Course Launch Blueprint. That is something that I'm working on right now, okay? So what you want to do, if you don't hit the 4 to 10% conversion rate, go back to the drawing table and then, or leave that product, it is not profitable, and go to something else. So the question number 2, so we are done with question 1, and I believe that only question 1 took 1 hour. Hey, only question 1 took 1 hour, but the other questions will not take as much. So I think with this, we can just close this webinar. Should we close it and be going home? Should I close the webinar? Let's all go home, please. Should I close it? Are we done? Are we done, guys? Can we go? Tell me. So the second question, before I go down, I was saying, if you didn't know where to start before you joined this webinar, now that I've answered that question, do you know where to start now? Do you know where to start? If you know where to start, say, yes, I know where to start. Yes, I know where to start. Yes, I know where to start. Type, yes, I know where to start, if you know where to start now. Yes, I know where to start. Yes, I know where to start. Awesome. So let me answer question number two. How do I know if I should create a course? Very good. How you will know from the beginning, I said, before the first place to start is to have an idea that I've either gotten you results or I've gotten someone results, right? So if to know, in order to know whether or not you should create a course, is do you have a solution that can move somebody from a before state to an after state? Now, the before state is in three stages. Can your idea, can your skill, can your experience, can your knowledge, that thing that you're good at, that thing that you love, that thing that you love, that thing that you're good at, can that thing help somebody make more money? Or can that thing take somebody away from pain? Or can that thing move somebody towards pleasure? So if the idea you have can do either of these three things, then you should definitely create a course. Can you guys hear me? Then you should definitely create a course. I think these people that said I can't hear you, I can't hear you, they are still watching the back of the live. Forward the live session, you will hear me. Right? So if what you know can either take me towards pleasure, take me away from pain, or make me more money, then you should definitely create a course. That is the shortest answer I can give. Now, if I want to give a long answer, all right, now the first thing you want to ask yourself is, what is the best way for your audience to get results? Okay, so this course that you want, this knowledge that you have, this thing that you want to teach, is it something you can just share in an ebook instead? Or is something that you need to create a course for? That's the question you need to ask. What is the best way for your audience to get results? Right? So with that, you can now tell if you should create a course or not. Right? The second thing is, what skill do you have? I said that before. You need to have a skill. The third thing is, what problem does that skill solve? Have you gotten, then the fourth thing, have you gotten result with that problem, with that skill before, for either yourself or for somebody? If you have all of these four things together, then you can go ahead and create a course. Okay, question number three. But I am not an expert. I am not an expert. This is something a lot of people have been saying. I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert. Ha. I am not an expert. So what do I do? Experts are those who started regardless, not those who are waiting to become one. I just say, let me drop this one here. So use this one whole body first. Experts are those who started regardless, not those who are waiting to become one. Experts are those who started regardless, not those who are waiting to become one. Right? So I believe this has answered your question. So today, people see you as an expert when you actually start putting yourself down as an expert, sharing knowledge as an expert, positioning yourself as an expert. So if you feel like you're not an expert, yes, you're not an expert, and you'll never be an expert until you start. So you need to start. That's why I said you don't need to create a premium course. That's why I said create the first version of your course. That's how to start. Start with a master class. Start with a webinar. Start with a free webinar to try your hands on things, whether you can actually teach people, whether you can actually communicate what you know to people that they can use it to get results. So you can start with a free webinar. You're not an expert, right? You've not created a course before. Start with a free webinar. Do a free webinar. I did a couple of free webinars before I started doing my first paid courses. Start with a free webinar. Try your hands on things. Last year I did almost 50 webinars. Like I was showing up back to back because I was trying my hands on webinars. So if you're on this webinar today and you're enjoying the deliverability of this webinar, it is as a result of webinars that I've done last year, back to back, errors that I've made in different webinars, and now I'm showing up here to give you my best. And this might not even be my best guess that I can give yet. Maybe my next webinar, I will even be better than this. All right, so if you're waiting to become an expert, you will never become one. So you need to start. Don't start with start trying to create a comprehensive 100% course, one course that will have 100 modules, you can start with a webinar first. From a free webinar, a cheap webinar, a pre-order mini course. Those are different ways you can start to test your hand on things. All right? Capish? Are you following? Yes, try your hands on things. Try your hands on things. Yes. Are we following? And the another thing I need you to know is you don't need to teach everybody everything about everything, about something. So now I teach people how to create a course. I teach people how to launch their course successfully. And I'm working on a course on that course launch blueprint. But here's the thing. I cannot teach you everything you need to know about launching and creating your course. But then I have one promise with course launch blueprint. The promise with course launch blueprint is that I am going to help you go from not knowing what to create, what to do. I'm going to help you make sure that you have a successful launch plan so that you're not overwhelmed. All the tools that you need, right? All the systems that you need in place, all the support you need, right? I'm going to make sure that course launch blueprint gives you all of these things so that you can launch your course successfully. You can start making 6-7 figures from your course, right? I'll teach you how to structure your course, how to go back to the drawing table, how to do everything in place. That's what course launch blueprint will do for you. Now, I'm teaching you how to do this with course launch blueprint, but I'm not teaching you everything you need to know in order to create a course. No, I cannot teach you that. I don't know it. I don't know everything, but I know something that will help you get results to a particular spot. And that is what I'm teaching in course launch blueprint. So you don't need to be an expert. You don't need to feel like an expert. You have to actually start. Last year, I taught people how to create courses, right? I taught people how to create courses last year, and the point where I was at, I didn't know as much as I know right now. But now, course launch blueprint is going to be improved, an improved version of what we had before. That is because I allowed myself to make mistakes. I allowed myself to teach based on where I am. So if you want to create a course, don't think about the everything. Don't think about teaching everybody everything you need to know about baking. So for example, you are baking. Don't teach everybody everything you need to know about baking. No. You can be a section. So if you are very good at fondant, you can teach people bakers already that are making errors. So how to create better fondant, or how to make your fondant look better, or how to make your cake look what's that word? Is it fluffy, or what's that word? Now, I'm not a baker, but you know what I'm trying to say. You can teach that part as a baker. You don't have to teach everything about baking a cake. Even a baker, you don't know everything now. We are learning every day. So that is the problem people have when they keep saying, I am not an expert. What they are saying here is not that they are not an expert. They are saying that, oh, I don't know everything about this course here. Let me go and keep learning. You will never know it. All right? So, experts are those who started regardless, not those who are waiting to become one. This quote was made by me, Digital Creator Chick. So you can quote me anywhere and quote me, Digital Creator Chick says, experts are those who started regardless, not those who are waiting to become one. All right? Capich? Are we following? Question number 4, how do I know what to teach? Or how do I find a profitable idea? I've talked about, when I say knowing what to teach, or profitable idea, I talked about 2 types of audiences. I talked about the audience that you own, and then the market audience. I had to go back sometimes because I'm jotting. Okay. I think you can go back if you want to go back. So the audience that you own and the market audience, how do you know what to teach? First thing is ask the audience that you own. No, that you own. Second thing is ask your market audience. So how do you ask your market audience? I'm going to go to YouTube now. YouTube is one of the places, right? YouTube is one of the places to ask your market audience. There's YouTube, there's Quora, there's Reddit, there's Amazon, there's a lot of places. But I'm just going to use YouTube, right? So type in the comments. Somebody should tell me their niche. Tell me your niche in the comments, and let me go to YouTube to go and find your idea for you. Somebody should tell me their niche in the comments. Let me go and find an idea for them. Hair business. Okay, awesome. Hair business. So let's come to YouTube. When you say hair business, do you sell hair? or you make hair. So you come here to YouTube, you search hair business, all right? So hair business, right? And then you check for videos that have many views, 8,000 views, 10,000 views, 100K views. So this was the video I clicked on initially. Let me pause it. Oh, your screen is showing the PowerPoint. Thank you. So this was the video, and then you scroll to the comments. If you want to watch the video, you can go and watch, but nothing concern the video. So someone said about, oh, can you talk about the wig making business, steps for wig making business? Some people, they are making wigs, but they don't know how to start to business of it, or how to sell their wigs, or how to teach people how to make wigs, or something like that. So it's your niche, so you know how to do that. So if you go through the comments, you're going to see different things that people want to learn. Or you can say hair importation. Just go straight. Hair importation. You're going to see videos about hair importation. You see how to start hair importation this 2021. So click on that. Remember, let the video have a lot of views so that you can see comments. This one just have 1,000 views. Comments may not be plenty here, but let's see. So this one says, I love this video. It was so helpful because I'm new to all this. Please, okay. Please, can you share your contact? See, can you share contact of hair vendors? You can create this as a mini course, how to find hair vendors. Or you can even write it as a book. Can you share videos on buying from vendors? How to buy hair from vendors? That is a course idea. This might be what people are struggling with. So if you don't have an audience, this is your market audience. Your audience, people are ranting here online. So YouTube, Quora, Reddit, Nairaland, people here are ranting. They are talking about what they are struggling. So just come here, search exactly what you're looking for, and you'll be able to get the answers, right? So that is how to know if to get a profitable course idea. All right, that's to get a profitable course idea. All right, so let's go to the next question. How do I sell my course before creating it? I think I've talked about this before, but this is a question that just popped in. So I will just so let me just go through it again. Sell your course before creating it. Sell a free webinar and then sell the replay afterwards. Right? Sell a mini course on pre-order. Sell a webinar, a cheap webinar. Create a wait list and put people on there, or create a free webinar and sell on the free webinar. It's that simple. That's how to sell your course before creating it. Very simple to do. So you have to just pick one out of the 5 that I've shown to you. You don't have to do everything at once. But you can test all of them. Like I've told you, I've tested all of the 5 options with different products. And they work. And if you're following me on Instagram, that's why I use myself as an example. You will know I've tested all of this. I've tested all of them. I've even done the one where I and my partner, Yai, Process Toolbox, and Tanom, 3 of us, we created a product, and I think in less than 1 month, we sold that product to 15 persons. That product was 22,500. Like, I think we used 2 weeks to do that thing. We did not create a wait list. We did not even do an announcement. We just woke up, boom, and we just created the product. It was really funny. But we were testing different things. 22,500, and it was December, Christmas period, where people were using money back and forth to buy Christmas things. We tested that idea, right? So all of these things are packaged that I'm working on to put in a course, because people have been asking me, hello, how are you doing this? How are you doing that? How are you doing this? How are you getting your results? And I'm putting it in my course launch blueprint, which is going to be launched, which I'm going to be putting out very soon, right? And the payment for the course is going to open on the 4th of April. Okay? We are going to get there very soon. But that's not what we're doing. I'm answering questions and giving you value right now. Okay? So now question 6, how do I create my course? So after you've sold your course, sold, how do you create the course? How do you package the course so that people who bought your course can access it, right? So the first way to create a course is the research phase. So you structure your online course, gather your materials, prepare your slides and setup, or you create a script. Okay, so what are the tools that you need in the research phase? You need Google, you need YouTube, you need Quora, you need your knowledge. I've showed you how to research on YouTube. That same way you used to research your profitable idea, you can also use it to research for content idea. You can also use this for research for um, your structure, right? Another good place to structure your idea is Udemy. So here you can see courses people have created. You can use that to create a structure for your online course. When I mean structure is um, when I mean structure, I mean the result you want to get people. So let's say, so what is the result you want to get your audience, right? So this is the end result. So from the end result, the next point they need to go to will be the roadmap or the process. Let's call it process. And from that process, this is where they are right now. Their problem, right? So the end result, process, problem. Now we call this the zero to hero, zero to hero framework. So it's a very simple framework, right? Zero to hero framework. Now the you are going to be you are going to, if you want to create this zero to hero framework, you are going to start from the top, which is the end result. Even though your audience is at the bottom, which is the problem, but if you want to structure your course, you're going to structure it from the top, not from the problem. So what is the end result? What is that thing you want to help people solve? So if you are creating a course, for example, on how to import from on how to import hair, right? How to start the business of hair importation. The end result is business of hair importation. That's the end result for this person now. Business of hair importation. That's going to be the end result for this person, right? Then the process here is what are the different things that they need to know in order to be able to start importing hair. So, for example, these different things can be, oh, they need to have an idea of what kind of hair they want to import. They need to know the vendors. They need to know what country they are importing from. Is it human hair? Is it synthetic? They need to know the right vendors. They need to know how to ship. They know how to calculate their shipping cost. You see how I've created different structure for this course now, right? They need to know this is the processes they need to go through to start business of high importation. But now the problem they have right now is that they don't know this process. That's the problem they have. They are stuck. That's the problem they have. The problem they have right now, they don't know the process to get to this point. And that is what your course is going to solve. So just like me, for example, I'm creating CLB right now, course launch blueprint, right? So my end result is to help you launch successfully and not just launching. So whether you're launching for the first time or you are relaunching your course, showing you all of the processes you need to launch, to relaunch, everything, all the tools you need to automate, to set up the course and everything, right? But the problem you're having now, maybe you still don't know how to figure it out. After this webinar, you already know how to figure it out. But at the end of the day, you might still need a deep work that you need to do. For example, it did not work. Who are you going to ask to say, oh, hello, this did not work. What should I do? Right? How can you get that guidance? These are everything I'm putting into CLB. This is the processes, right? Then the problem, you are facing this problem. So you see how I've been able to use this to create this zero to hero framework. So that's the framework. That's how to structure your course. You can now create these processes and put them into modules. So module one for your to help your audience start the business of hair importation. To help your audience start the business of hair importation, module one can be finding a niche. So it can be maybe you're selling only wigs, or you're selling only human hair, or you're selling a mix or something. I don't know. It can be finding a niche. Then under that module one, you can have different videos. How to start a human hair business, how to start synthetic, how to start a wig business, How to start, like you just put it different, maybe like 5 videos on that module one. Then module two can now be shipping, getting your course, getting your hair to Nigeria. So it can now be how to find vendors, how to do this, how to get their numbers, how to do the procurement, how to, you see, small, small, you're already creating your cost structure. What I recommend is your cost structure should be at least have like 3 to 4 modules is okay. 3 to 4 modules is okay, maybe 5 modules, and then each of the modules should not have more than 5 lessons or 7 lessons. You are good to go. You finish your course. That is if you are creating a full blown course. But if you are creating a mini course, 3 modules is okay. You can start with, like my advice, start with a mini course, 3 modules. Each of the modules should have like 5 videos. That's 15 videos. And you created a mini course, you can sell it 5K, 5, or you can even sell it cheap. And from there, you can now scale it and even improve it. You see how you've been able to create a structure for your course, right? The next thing is getting your slides and setup ready. Okay? So to get your slide, this is my slide. I prepared it on Canva. You can use Canva, you can use PowerPoint. So if what you are teaching is not something you need PowerPoint for, then you need to write a script. So if you are teaching how to bake cake, for example, you don't need PowerPoint. You need to actually shoot. You need to actually shoot your video. For in reality, you need to shoot your video. So that means you need a script. So in that script, write your key points. What are the key points I'll be talking about so that you will not talk off key? So I'll talk about this thing first, talk about this thing first, talk about this thing next. Just write your key points and have your book by your side. So when you are shooting, you have your book, you look at point one, you talk about point one. You look at point two, you talk about point two. That's how to shoot your video. When you are shooting your video, please don't let your videos to be longer than 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes per video in each of your lessons. Alright? So that's how to do that. So the next phase to create your course is to record and edit. So once you have your script, you have your slide, it's structured, you can now go ahead to record. You can record with Zoom if you are using a slide. If you are using your phone, if what you're doing is how to bake cake, you can record with your phone camera. Or if you are teaching people how to edit photos or edit videos with your phone, you can record with your phone recorder. So record your phone screen and start talking over your screen. Okay, this is how to record with this is how to edit with your phone. So I'll go to this place, I'll do this, I'll do that. Make sure you have your script so you don't talk off guard. Alright, so edit. You can use CapCut to edit. You can use InShot to edit. You can use Camtasia to edit. You can use Shortcut app to edit. So for mobile, if whatever you're doing is on your phone, you can use CapCut and InShot. But if you're using laptop, the easiest one that you can use is Shortcut app. Shortcut app. So Shortcut app. So let me share my screen here. To get the Shortcut app, just go to Google and Google Shortcut app. Shortcut download. Right, it's going to take you to where you're going to download the app. I'm not going to download it. You need to download it on your laptop. It's very easy to download. That's why I recommend it. And it's free to use, right? So Shortcut app, you select Windows installer, install the site to GitHub out. So click on Windows installer. You click on that, you install it. Once you install it, it will be installed. Click on the installation and just follow the on-screen instruction and download it on your phone and install it. So I have a video that will show you how to use this app, right? But I'm going to share it for those who will show up for the webinar tomorrow. Tomorrow is day 2. Only those who will show up tomorrow that will share the Shortcut app link with the access to it. I'll share it with them tomorrow. So if you don't show up tomorrow, you will not find it, okay? So the Shortcut app for editing. So hosting your course. So free places to host your course is Google Drive. Many people say, oh, if I host my course on Google Drive, people will download it. It's a lie. My first few courses that I created were hosted on Google Drive, and up to today, people can still not download it because there's a way to put it. And in course launch blueprints, for people who don't have money to host their courses on hosting platform, I create a detailed video on how you can collect payment automatically, how you can give people access to your Google Drive without them downloading your course on Google Drive. Another cool place to host your course for free is Thinkific. Also, in course launch blueprint, I'm bringing a guest that will create a section of this for you to show you how to create your course on Thinkific, how to receive money, how to automatically give student access, add them to your email list, everything on Thinkific, right? So if you have money and say, okay, I want to host my course on paid platform, you can host it on Seller, Teachable, Kajabi, Katra. You can also host it on If you have money, you can hold it on Seller, Teachable, Kajabi, Katra, or even ClickFunnels and GrowFunnels. You can host your course there if you have money. I'm also going to be teaching you all of this, how to host your course on Seller. I'm going to teach you that in course launch blueprints, right? I'm also going to teach you how to host it on GrowFunnels. However, if you can go ahead and learn, these things are pretty easy to do. Go ahead and add your course on Google Drive. To add your course to Google Drive, it is very simple, right? It is very simple to add your course to Google Drive. Okay? So all you just have to do is to make sure that you have a Gmail account. You go to Google Drive, you create a new folder. So create a folder on Google Drive, and you give this folder your course name. So this is going to be course name. This is what this folder is going to be. You create the folder. That is going to be your course name. Okay? So you open the folder. Now, let's say you have 3 modules in your course. You create new folders inside this folder. So this is going to be module 1, right? This is going to be module 1, and then you create another folder to be module 2. And then if you have 3 modules, just create it like that. Now, inside each module, you will now add the lessons. But before you add your lessons, there's something you need to do. Go to share for each of the module, and then you go to settings and say uncheck this option for each of the modules. Once you do that, you now open each of the module. You can now add your lessons, right? So to add your lessons, you want to upload a file. So let me quickly upload something really. Let's say I want to upload this as my lesson, right? So you allow that to upload. And once you upload it, you want to name your lessons with numbers so that it is arranged in number order. So I'm going to rename this. Rename. You are going to call it 1. So that's lesson 1. And put the title of the lesson. So title of lesson. We are going to call it 1, right? So you put lesson 2, you call it 2, put the title of the lesson. Now this is what to do so that people will download it. Each of your lesson, right click on share. Okay? Click on share. And then you go to these settings here. You want to uncheck this option that says editors can change permission. Viewers and commenters can see the option to download, print, and copy. Once you uncheck this option, they cannot download it. They cannot share the link with anybody. They cannot print it. They cannot copy it. It is just them. And they only have to go to their Google Drive to be able to access it. So this is how to do a Google Drive really fast, right? On course launch blueprint, I will show you how to connect this to your Seller account, how to receive payment on Seller, and tie everything to Google Drive, even set up emails automatically in the back end. All right, so this is how to do it really quick on Google Drive, just in case you want to go ahead and do it on your own. All right. So the next step in creating your course, so that is that, host your course. So the next step is, how do I price my course? Pricing your course is totally dependent on you. But key things I want you to look at is, have you done this thing before? Result that you've gotten, right? And your expertise, okay? And then industry standard, right? So you can just put a random price to it. But another thing you also need to look is, what are the things that you need to get this thing done? So if you are spending money to get some kind of things done, like to pay for hosting, to pay for ads, to pay for designs, you want to put all of these things into consideration before you price your course. If you are bringing people into your course, so that's why I said, start small, don't overdo it. If you want to create your first version of course, don't start thinking about paying for too many things. There are so many free things that you can start with. And all of this I'm going to be showing you course launch blueprint. So many free things you can start with so that you can price very small and still get something. And then over time, when you're ready to scale, you can now increase your price. I'm also going to go in depth on pricing in course launch blueprint as well. All right, so number 8, how do I get testimonials? Very simple. No matter the structure, whether you want to sell a free webinar, you want to sell your pre-mini course, you want to make sure that you deliver value. So when you deliver value, right, you people will naturally come and give you feedback. And then you go back and reach out to them, ask them genuinely. The way I used to ask for my feedback, I used to strategically ask for feedback. So I can go and meet them and say, hi, how are you doing today? I saw that you attended this class or you paid for this training. Have you started the training? Oh, yes, I've started. And you now ask them. Honestly, I wanted to know, did this training help you in any way to do X, Y, Z? And the person will feel like you're just starting a normal conversation. And then before you know, they'll start pouring out their heart. After they pour out their heart, you can now ask them, can I use it as a testimonial? Now, some people, this may not work for them. For this kind of people, you can just ask them straight. I said, please, I need testimonial from you. Please, can you share testimonial? Or you can give incentives, give something to just entice them to give you reviews. All right, that's how to get testimonials. And with these testimonials, you can now improve on your course. Are you guys following me? Are you guys following me? Let me know in the chat. Okay, great, awesome. Okay, awesome. Yes, 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 amazing. Are you guys learning? Are you learning? If you are learning, put in the chat and say, I am learning, oh, I am learning, oh. Awesome, amazing. So how do I sell my course with no audience? So I don't have an audience. How do I sell my course? This is a very critical question. A lot of people keep asking. Now there are two ways you can sell your course without an audience, right? First thing is to build an audience first, then you sell. Second thing is sell while building an audience. Build an audience first, then you sell. Second thing is sell while building an audience. All right? So here's the thing. Here's the truth. Really learning. Amazing. Here's the truth. This build an audience first, then you sell. If you want to wait till you build an audience first, you will never get to that point where you build an audience first. So I don't even recommend it. So sell while building an audience, while you're building an audience. So when I started selling on my page with 100 followers. Yes, I made my first £500 with 100 followers. Yes, it is possible. So you need to start selling while you are building an audience. So how can you start selling while you are building an audience? So even if you just have 50 followers, right, you can start selling while you are building an audience. But there is a clause to this. If you are just coming online, you've not created any content before, people don't know you, I do not recommend that you start creating a course. Right? Take your first 3-4 months to build. Take your first 3-4 months to build. So what do I mean by building? Build authority. Create content around that niche so that people will know you as a go-to person. Okay, people struggle with content when it comes to this. So how can you get content ideas? Very easy. The same way that we came here to look for profitable content idea on YouTube, you can do that. So come to your niche. So your niche is copywriting. Type in copywriting. Check copywriting videos. Check comments. See what people are saying in the comments and see how you can create content from that and start sharing that on your page. Or you can just simply go to Google. When I started with Google, right? I can just go to Google and just say hair importation. What is the question people are asking about hair importation on Google? Right? So you come here to Google and you scroll, and then there's this point on Google that says people also ask, right? What country imports the most human hair? Right? Is selling human hair profitable? How do you import hair? Can I import hair? Now, these are content ideas for you to create for 3 months that you can use to start building authority. You can create them in the form of carousel, single post, videos. That you can use to start building authority before you now start talking about courses. Because that's what it means to build, sell while you are building. Right? So in that 3 months, you cannot tell me that you want to get all the audience you need to get in this world. No, now. But at least you are building authority, right? So let me show you the cool part about this thing. If I click on this relevant thing, so let's say I like this topic. Topic number 1, copy it, go and paste it on a Google Doc, put it there as content idea. Right? What country import the most? So now click on this, close it. More questions will come out. Which country produce original human hair? Now, click on this, is selling human hair profitable? Close it. More questions will come out. How many bundles do I need to start selling hair business? You see how content idea is coming out. Now, how much do you need to start hair business? Now, click on this, close it. Can I sell my hair? So these are different content you can start creating in the first 3 months to start positioning yourself as an expert. Right? You can even play with the keyword here. So aside hair importation, you can play with keywords like why why is hair importation expensive? Or you can play with keywords here. You can play with keywords here, so you must not write hair importation, right? Now, play with keywords and you say, is human hair business profitable? Why are human hair extensions so expensive? Who buys the most human hair? You see, these are content. Click on it and more content will be coming out for you. That's how to get content ideas if you want to start positioning yourself in the first 3 months if you don't have any audience at all, right? So while you're positioning yourself, naturally people will come and start asking you questions. Now you can do this on WhatsApp, you can do this on Facebook, you can do this on Instagram. Naturally people will start entering your DM and start saying, oh, Mr. X, you made this post about this. Please, oh, do you have more information on this? Please, oh, before you know, you can now do a mini masterclass. Say, oh, pay 2 hours masterclass. How to find the right vendors, or how to know what human hair to buy, or how to know fake and original human hair. 1 5 for heaven. Before you know, you've done a free masterclass or a free training. People will to test your hand on things to see people will buy. You see how you are selling? You are selling while you are building your audience. Now, another way to sell while you build is to go to Facebook groups. Right? Go to Facebook group, create a lead magnet, offer a free training, get them on your email list, send them emails once every week or twice every week, all right? And then sell to them via your email or send them to your page. Let them follow you on social media. And that way you can sell to them. So that's how to sell even while you don't have an audience. Okay, so how do I scale to 6-7 figures? How do I scale to 6-7 figures? It's very easy. In order to scale to 6-7 figures, what you need to do, all of the processes I've explained, you want to rinse and repeat all of the processes. So create your mini course, create the first version of your course, deliver value, get feedback, improve it. Now relaunch the course, improve the course, increase the price, because now to an extent you now have level. When I mean level, you are now even more confident in what you're putting out. People are now also confident in you. Share those results, right? Use that to scale. So increase the price a little by maybe 5%, 10%, all right? Put it out there again. Go through the process again this time. But this time you are not starting from maybe a webinar or something. Go through the process again. Maybe have a free webinar and then sell on the webinar. See, the fastest way to sell is to sell on the webinar. Because people can interact with you. They can feel your energy, can feel your expertise on a webinar. Do a free webinar. Sell your course now on the webinar. If you see, there's something my mentor said, Russell Brunson. He said the most way to sell your course, like you want to keep selling your course, host one webinar every week or host one webinar every 2 weeks. The same webinar. Different people will be showing up and sell on that webinar every week or every 2 weeks. Guy, you're going to scale your course to 6 to 7 figures. All right? So that's how to scale. Now, how do I have a successful launch roadmap? How do I have a successful launch roadmap? Now, if you want to launch your course, this is where all of the plans and structuring comes in place. Okay? So how do you know what to do first, what content to post, and all of these things, right? So ideally, in order to have a successful launch roadmap, you need to plan. You need to plan. So the first stage is research. So if you've researched and see that people need this thing, you're not going to plan that. What platform am I going to use to share my ideas? How many content will I put out, right? The minimum content I advise is 15 to 30 content. Right? Have that plan. Then go and look for these content ideas before you even start to launch. Think about it. How can you create content? How can you help your audience? Remember, the content that you'll be creating for your launch should be solving problems, not just solving problems. You should not only be teaching. If you're following me on Instagram, you'll see my launch content, how I'll be putting them out. It's not just teaching. Sometimes it's to create relatable content. A lot of people see themselves inside. A lot of people see themselves inside your problem, right? So think about a content, then plan. Are you going to launch with a webinar? If you're going to launch with a webinar, plan how you want to start this webinar. What date will the webinar hold? What will you teach on the webinar, right? Then have a date for the webinar. How are you going to let people come for this webinar? Are you going to use Zoom? If you're going to use Zoom, create a Zoom event, have the link, create a simple page. You can use MailChimp to create a simple page, or you can create a WhatsApp group. If you're not techy, create a WhatsApp group or create a Facebook group and say, oh, if you're interested in joining this webinar, here's the link to my Facebook group. Go and join the Facebook group. People join the Facebook group, and on the day of the webinar, you put the Zoom link inside the Facebook group, and then you go live on Zoom to share your knowledge, and then sell on the webinar. Or you even go live on your Facebook group, right, and sell on your webinar. So you need to plan all of these things first. Which processes do you want to take to actually sell? Right? And then after the webinar, what's going to happen? Are you going to be sending emails? How many emails will you send? So you have to plan all of these things 1 month before you even start thinking about putting out your course. So that when you start selling it, you will not feel overwhelmed like you are all over the place. Currently, I'm launching 2 courses. I'm launching for my clients, I'm launching for myself, and I'm also doing other side jobs for clients, right? But I am not overwhelmed. Why? Because I have all of these things in place, right? And if I need help, if I need people that will help me, I already know people that will help me do it. I already know what I will give to what to go and do if I cannot do them on my own. Why? Because I have planned beforehand. So that's how to have a successful launch roadmap. All right. Question 11. What do I do after a failed launch? So after a failed launch, what should you do? What you should do is to go back to your drawing table, right? Go over the processes I've explained right now. Look at the things you did not do well and start from scratch. That's what to do after a failed launch. Are you guys following me? Are you guys following me? Is this making sense? That's what to do after a failed launch. All right? So, remember the beginning of this webinar, I said the top reason why you should stay until the end is if you stay until the end, you're going to find out how you can get me to do a two free collab with you on your page, whether WhatsApp, in fact, your page, your community, anywhere you want to bring me, 2 free collab. You are going to find out how I can help you come up with 2 course titles. I'm also going to find out how I can give you access to 200 Facebook groups that allows you to sell your product, right? Another reason why I say you should stay, that if you stay until the end, you're going to be among the 2 people that I will pick to actually that will create a course launch roadmap for in tomorrow's event. All right. So I've not forgotten this. I'm going to go over this shortly. Okay. So before we go over that, here is the question. I put a question in the Facebook group, and these are some of the questions some of you asked in the Facebook group. Although during the course of this training, I've answered most of these questions, but I want to read the question and make sure that I've answered them the way it is being asked. All right. We'll finish in another few minutes. So how do you come up with the best attractive topic for a course? How do you know if your course is actually what people desire? I think I've answered that. How do you know if your course is actually what people desire? I've answered that. How do you come up with the best attractive topic for your course? Okay, a very good way is you can go to Udemy, right? So search for courses in your niche. That can give you idea. Just go to udemy.com, come here, and just search, let's say, hair business, right? Hair business, so hair salon business, business of hair salon, how to start your own hair bow business, how to start your own. So let's just search for hair business, right? And here you're going to see different course titles that you can get ideas from. You can play with the search words and see what Udemy will bring out for you. So this is how to find good ideas. Another way to find profitable idea is to go to YouTube, like I've explained. Go to the comment section and find how you can tweak your course title. So you see how to start a hair salon business. You can tweak this to your own. So if you scroll through, you can see different course titles here. So that's how to do that. I think I've answered that question. I've already crafted my content, but I am sort of lost on how to create the course. I'm not honestly techy. I think I've explained this already. How to create a course, I've explained that already. So the next question here is, where do I host my course? I've answered that. The next one, how do I determine for my audience to pay for my course? I've answered that. The next one, on course creation, number one, knowing what followers want, I've answered that. Number two, how to build awareness for pre-launch. After nurturing, how to convert. So let me answer these 2 last ones really fast. How to build awareness pre-launch, right? How to build this is to create a launch plan, like I said. I've explained this to a fault, right? Create a launch plan. How do you want to move people through? So the minimum time frame for creating a launch plan is actually 2 weeks. Like if worse come to worse, say you don't even want stress yourself, like you don't want to do at all. 2 weeks to 30 days. That's the minimum launch you should have. So you want to have a plan. What content will I be posting every of this day, right? Will I add people to my mailing list, or I will just create a pre-order so that as I'm creating my content, I'll be sending them the pre-order link to go and buy. Will I create a free webinar? See, let me tell you, if you want to sell a course, don't bother about creating an ebook. Don't bother. As a freebie, people will not read it. It will take a lot of time. If you want your course to convert to 6-figure really fast, the fastest way, the free thing you can create is a webinar. Create a free webinar to sell that course instead of an ebook. All right? Then after you nurture, how do you convert? How to convert after you nurture is to follow up, right? Follow up with emails if you have them on your email list, or if they're your Facebook group, follow up with them on your Facebook group. talk about it there. Don't spam people. You also want to still share value. Post about it on your page as well, right? That's how to follow up. If you have money for ads, you can do retargeting ads, and then over time, you can now nurture to convert. Another key thing to convert is you want to create FOMO. People have been buying. Share what people have been buying. Me, I'm not afraid to share my numbers. I just showed you how many people signed up for this webinar, right? So if you like, if you feel like this person, this guy is sharing audio things. I'm not sharing audio things because I just showed you how many people actually paid, how many people actually signed up for this webinar. All right? So share when people pay. This person has paid. It will create FOMO, right? And aside that, share testimonial. People are bringing it to testimonial. Also share your process. You're behind the scene of you creating the product. You're behind the scene of you uploading the product to the site. You're behind the scene of you adding things to the product. People want to see all of these things and experience into it. Create them. That's how to also convert people to buy from you. All right? For me, the content are there and the course ideas are available. The issue is how to create a system where I do not always have to be online for people to give people access to my course. And secondly, how to create awareness. I think I've talked about how to create awareness. So creating a system for your course is very easy. So the first thing you want to do here is to have a plan in order for you to create a system, right? In order for you to create a system for your course, you will need a plan. Okay? So how do you create this plan? So this is where you now write it down. So I want to create my course. How will I start? So let me, the first thing is you are going to go for 30 days, right? So you say, okay, the first 7 days, I'm going to be creating, any post I'm creating is about awareness and education. So I will educate my audience for my niche, right? Let's say the next 7 days, I'm going to excite them. So the assignment here, you are going to be creating fun content to excite your audience. Another 7 days. While you are creating all of these things, you're still talking about your course, right? Another 7 days, you are going to create FOMO to sell your course. Another 7 days, you are going to do follow-up and all of those things, right? So this is a system to launch. This is like a launch system, right? This is what people will be seeing. This is what people will be seeing for your launch. Now, what people will not see, then for this, what people will not see is this process. So let's say after this, so when you're creating the awareness, will you be sending them somewhere? Do you want to send them to a Facebook group, right? Do you want to send them to a wait list, to email list? If you want everything to happen on automation, then you want to create your things on time. So if you are creating a free webinar, for example, create your opt-in page where people can sign up, set up your automated emails, right? Automated emails to go out. The emails that went out today, I did not send them at that time. I already automated them and then they went out 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, right? Automated emails, okay? Have your sales page ready and then have follow-up emails ready. So you have to do the work initially. You have to just do the work at the beginning stage in order for people to actually sell, to actually buy. So if you are doing a free webinar, for example, they opt in, they get automated emails to attend the webinar, then they attend the webinar, right? After the webinar, they get follow-up emails with the sales, with the replay for the webinar, and then they get follow-up emails to the sales page, right? And this sales page, you are selling with a platform where you can collect money. So even if you're hosting your course on Google Drive, you can still sell on a platform like Seller and connect it to Google Drive. So people can just buy automatically without you even being there, even in the middle of the night. All right, and then you follow up. The follow-up messages can also be automated, right? You have all of this follow-up, and then this is how to basically set up a system where you don't have to always be there. If you want to always be there, then you can go and create your course on WhatsApp, Telegram. That's where you have to always be there and say, oh, send me bank details, do this, do that. All right, I think that answers that question. All right, so let's go to the next one. Hello, you all. Okay. Concerning how to come up with content ideas, including one content to create. I think I've answered that. How to audit the content. I think I've answered this. All right. So let me answer this. To know if your content is whack, you cannot know until you put it out there. But one key thing you should be focusing on is creating content that solve a problem. And the kind of content that solve problems are usually content that answer questions. Content that answer questions and content that motivates your audience. So you don't always want to be creating education content. Sometimes your audience needs motivation. So create content that answer questions and content that motivates your audience. What of first timers without testimonial? I think this person just joined late. I've explained for someone who don't have an audience, who is a first timer, I've explained different processes to sell your course, right? You can create a free webinar and try your hands on things. All right? I've explained all of that before now. Okay, so back to here. How can you get me to come to do a two free collab with you, your community, your page, anywhere? How will I come up with 2 course titles when you are ready? How will I come up with that for you? How can you get that from me? How can you get me to tell you how to access 200 Facebook groups that allows you to sell your product? So before I go into this, right? Are you guys getting value because I'm done? We've done 2 hours already. We're about to end this in another 10 minutes. Yes, you have answered all my questions. Awesome, favor. Amazing. So let me quickly go through that while I'm waiting for your questions, right? So in order to get these 3 things from me, okay, I am launching course launch blueprints, okay, which is going to be a signature course, and the payment is opening on Monday, 4th of April. Okay, so what's included in course launch blueprint? Course launch blueprint has 6 modules. All right, 6 modules. So what I have put in this course are things that I've tested and I've tried. Like I've tried all of the processes I'm teaching. So the first module is a pre-course launch phase. So what are the things I will cover here is finding a problem, your messaging, researching and validating your course idea. I didn't join late. I'm working while listening. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Maybe you can catch the replay. So finding your problem, coming up with a course idea, planning your launch timeline. There's something that is called launch timeline. So if you want to launch in 30 days, what kind of content should you create in each of the days? Right? How should you put out content? Selling your idea first, positioning yourself. I'm going to be sharing with you how to position yourself on Instagram visibility hacks, how to position your page and everything on Facebook. When is the right time to start planning your course and also testing your ideas? So these are things I'm going to share in module 1. Module 2, the course launch blueprint. Everything you need from the emails, launch strategies, webinars, creating launch content, wait lists, planning your promotion, 6 figures launch strategy. All of them I'm going to be showing you. Module 3 is the course launch toolkit. Here I'll provide you with sales page, lead generation page, software you need for your email marketing, everything else, everything you need to set up your funnels so that your course can go on automation. So for that person who asks, oh, how can I set up systems? You're going to learn everything in course launch blueprint. Module 4 is the course launch funnel. Here you learn about automation, finding a product market fit, building a value ladder, your funnel steps, how you can choose your course launch funnel. Module 5 is the course creation phase. So I'll walk you through how to create your course, how to structure it, how to put it out there, how to edit. This one I'm going to go in depth. I will edit a video for you, how to host your course on free plans and also on paid plans. Alright, and also how to price and get testimonial. Module 6 is the post-course launch phase. So after you create your course, after you sell your course, how are you going to continually sell your course, right? Everything that will happen from where you open payments to promotion and marketing. Here you will get how to review and edit your sales page, your emails, your webinar campaigns, and also relaunch and launch strategies for your course. Now, this everything is contained in CLB, 6 weeks plan. And in that, 6 modules, in addition to the 6 modules, there are 9 hot bonuses. So you are going to get 40 plus launch email template that you can easily tweak to use. You're going to get a sales page template that you just plug and play, replace with your own words, and use to build your sales page really fast. You're going to get prospecting and follow-up templates. You're going to get webinar slides like this one that I'm using, beautiful. You're going to get building your tribe on social media and how to position yourself on social media. You're going to get how to create content. So for the person who asks how to create content to get visibility and engagement, you're going to get that in course launch blueprint. You're going to get my complete Facebook ads guide in order to be able to sell your products, right? And then also influencer marketing guide. So Facebook is not the only way to promote your product. I'm also going to teach you organic ways, but also influencer marketing, list of different influencers that you can get, right? And then how to make passive income selling your online course. So I'm going to introduce to you a platform where you can put your course, get affiliates to come and buy your course while you're sleeping, so you don't have to do anything. The affiliate just come, they'll go and sell your course for you on your behalf. So you're making passive income from your course. So this is everything that is contained in CLB. So now what is the price for CLB? All right? Based on that, I don't give fluff even in my free offers, talk about my paid offers. CLB, I can charge CLB for 100K if I want to. But I don't want to do that because I want it to be something everybody can be into. So early bird opens on Monday and cost only is $23,549. Cost plus 6 weeks group coaching where I hold your hands and get access to extra 5 experts for 6 weeks. It's at 7,500, which is early bird. And early bird opens on Monday to April 11th. Then regular fee is April 12th to April 26th. And cost only for regular is 37,500. And cost and 6 week group coaching is 55,500. So now here is how these three things come into play. Okay? So once payments open on Monday, which is 4th of April, the first 50 people to get into early bird will get access to these three things. So you have me to come do collaboration with you on any of your platforms. You have me to create 2 course titles for you, and you have me give you access to 200 Facebook groups where you can sell your products. All right? So this is how this comes into play. So you want to be ready on Monday once Consular Blueprint opens so that you can get into the course. So plan to join CLB between April 4th and April 26th, all right? But if you want to get access to those 3 offers that I just showed you, plan to join within the early bird time frame. And in fact, plan to join on Monday because what I'm seeing here, people that are already in my DM say, Ella, send me the link. The way this thing is going, if you don't do fast, you may not be among the 50 people to join on Monday to get that 3 offers from me. All right? So now, that is all for this. This is Q&A session. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me, and I'm ready to answer your question now. So go ahead and ask me your question. Any questions so far? Do we have access to the course immediately after payment? Okay, awesome question. No, you don't have access to the course immediately after payment. Now, this is the reason why. The reason why is because of the 6 weeks group coaching. If we say have access to the course immediately after payment, everybody will not be able to follow through with the coaching. All right? So the payments run through April 1st to April 26th. And then on May 17th, the course will open to everybody. Everybody can have access so that everybody can go through the group coaching at the same time. And everybody will start getting results, start helping you at the same time for the group coaching. That's why the course cannot open as immediately you actually pay. So it's more like a pre-order. Because immediately the course open on May 17th, the price goes up from that 55K to almost 100K. So it's more like a pre-order thing that I'm doing right now, but I have 2 payments, early bird and regular fee that is going on. And once the course also closes, if registration closes April 26th, you will not be able to get into the group coaching anymore, except those who already paid for the course. They are the only one who will be able to get into the group coaching. Outsider cannot get in because I want to make sure that I only get people I can help during that time frame on the group. So that's why you will not access it immediately. All right? So any other question? Any other question so far? If you've gotten value, let me know in the chat if you've gotten value. If you have any other question, let me know. Let me answer that before we go. Tomorrow is another day. And remember, I'm going to pick 2 people that we're going to be using for tomorrow. So everything I've explained in this live session, I'm going to be using it to create a roadmap for 2 people tomorrow. So tomorrow we're not going to waste time. You just come live and I'll ask you, you will join me live. So if you know you come on camera. So if you know you cannot come on camera tomorrow, please don't participate in this picking. You will come on camera and you will join live. I will ask you, okay, what's your business about, everything, your course plan about, and we're going to create the launch roadmap for you live. Like live. When does the group coaching start? The group coaching starts immediately. The course launches May 17th. So course launching May 17th, we do the welcome party that weekend. The group coaching starts that weekend. I don't understand how much. Okay, you don't understand the payment plan. Okay, let me go back to that. So the payment plan here is we have early bird registration. So for those, it's called more like fastest finger. For those who pay between April 1st to April 11th, you can decide to pay for the course only. If you pay for course only, meaning you can only access only the course. So this is how much it costs for course only between April 4th to April 15th. But once it is now April 12th to to April 26th, course only will not cost 23,000 anymore. It is now 37,500. So the time frame is for people to act fast, fastest finger. Right? But if you say, okay, I want to buy the course and also want Ella to support me to answer my question, to help me with the back. See, the course is self-explanatory. If you buy the course only, you can everything you need is self-explanatory. Like everything you need, like even a baby can understand it. But if you need extra push, like accountability, extra expert to push you, that if you say, okay, I want to join the course and 6-week group coaching and accountability, if you pay within April 1st and 11th, it is at 7,500. But if you pay within April 12th and 26th, it's 55,500. I hope that is clear. All right? I hope that is clear. Okay, so any other question? Any other question? Any other question while we are here? Do you guys understand the webinar? Like, do you have any question? Will you say that everything you've learned so far, you can go back and start to implement to get results? Will you say that everything you've learned so far, will you say everything you've learned so far, you can use that to go back to learn and implement? Will you say this has been insightful so far? Will you say this has been insightful so far? Will you say this has been insightful so far and everything you've learned, you can go and use it to start implementing? See, everything I've taught you, you can go and use it to start implementing to get results. Like really, really. I had somebody I just get advice. I shared that testimony at the beginning of this webinar, right? And with what everything I said to her, she was able to make 100K in 4 days. She made 100K in 4 days. To tell you that my advice are not fluff. You think I'm just joking, right? So with everything you have here, you can go ahead to actually make your first 100K with everything you've learned today from this webinar. Okay, so even if you don't sign up for CLB, everything I've shared with you today is something that you can still use to still get results. All right? If you feel like, okay, I just want to use this free advice, yes, you can go ahead with it to get a result with that free advice. Okay, you can go ahead with that to get. What if you don't have results yet as a newbie? I think I've explained this. What if you don't have results yet as a newbie? I've explained this already. Test your hands. Start from there are different options here where you can sell So start with a free webinar. Get results for those people who attend the free webinar. Use that as your testimonial. And what you mean what you want, what you mean what if you have not had results? If you are talking about what if you've not been able to get results for yourself with the skill that you know, what you need to do is to get a better tester. Get a better tester. Find a friend or somebody you can offer your services to, or you can provide your skill to, either for free and say, oh, hello, ma, I have a friend, she's a social media manager, right? When she didn't have any clients, right, the first thing she did was, she came to me and said, hello, please, I want to manage your page for 1 month. I want to manage it, right? And then if I help you get results, I help you get things better, okay, you give me reviews and testimonial. And I also want to try my hands to see if I can actually get results for you. And I allowed her. And she said, oh, I should not pay. She will do it for free. Okay, no problem. I allowed her to do it. And she tested her hand. She got really good results. And I gave her a good testimonial. That's how to try your hand to know if you're getting results. Then, over time, you can now start getting clients, right? You can start by helping somebody for free, and then start by getting clients that you can help at a cheaper rate. And after helping clients get results over time, you can now create your course. All right? So I hope that answers your question. So any other question? Any other question, guys? Any other question for me? Before we go, the final thing, which is this. So I want to select the 2 persons that I will go live with tomorrow, right? So I want to ask a question to know if you have been in the beginning of this live tonight, you're not just joining. Okay, so the question is now on the screen. I'll be looking at the comments. First 2 persons to get the right answer, I will go live with you tomorrow to create a launch roadmap for you. So what percentage of sales or percentage of sales to interest will determine whether or not your course idea is profitable or needs more structure. First two correct answers will be the people that I'm going to pick to go live with tomorrow and create a launch roadmap for. First two correct answers will be the people I'm going to pick to go live with and create a launch roadmap for with everything that we've done so far. Okay, made for girls. This is on YouTube. Made for girls. Send me a DM on Instagram. Um, okay, favor. This Facebook user, I can't see your name, so I've gotten the two persons. Favor and that will go. I'm going to send you a message after this. Made for girls, what's your name? Made for girls, what is your name? What's your name and your social media handle? So I believe we all got value from this session. So I know why Chika and Favor and that will go. Tomorrow you are going to join me live. You're going to join me live to create I'm going to create a launch roadmap for you tomorrow. All right. So I'll see you guys tomorrow again, 8 p.m. The replay, I'll send it to your email or maybe in the Facebook group. So if you're not in the Facebook group, you want to join the Facebook group. All right. So I'll see you guys tomorrow and have a good night rest.